In the previous video, I showed you how to set up a Google Classroom to manage a project qualification. In this short video, what I'm going to do is show you how to return to your assignment and add in a rubric. I'm going to click on my higher project qualification classroom. And if you remember in my stream, I'd launched an assignment to all of my students, and each time they clicked on it, it created a duplicate version of that document, which was their working document for the whole of the project qualification. As you can see, I now have a student who has joined the class, and they have been assigned their own HPQ single working document. If I return to Google Drive, go into Higher Project Qualifications, go into my template, you'll see there is the document there, and it has been named with the student's name. If I just return quickly back to my assignment now, I'm going to click on Instructions, and I'm going to edit this assignment. As you can see down here, this is the setup that we had previously with a submission date, a 40-point mark, and we had some instructions for the student. Down here on the right-hand side, you'll see the word rubric. We can create one, reuse one, or import one. In this instance, we're going to create one. Now what you'll see is this new screen. What we're going to do is we're going to complete the criterion rubric setup, going down here, adding criteria as we go, and this markup here will end up at 40. You can, of course, just take the assessment grids from the Pearson specification and pop them onto your Google Classroom as a document. I'm just showing you here how to embed these into the classroom so that you can actually do your marking in the classroom, which is really nice. What I'm going to do, very simply, is I'm going to locate the specification, and I've navigated down this document to level 2. This is for the HPQ. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this information into my Google Classroom as follows. To begin with, I'm going to take the AO1 manage and use that as a criterion title. I'm then going to go into mark band 1 and copy all the information into the criterion description here. And what I can do is obviously I can clean this up so that the sentences flow because it just copies and pastes all the text in one go, but I won't spend too long doing this. In the spec itself, as you can see here, this mark band 1 is worth 3 marks, so I'm going to add that in. So here in the points, I'm going to click up to 3. This is, of course, level 2 because it's a HPQ, and in the description, I'm going to call this mark band 1. What I'm now going to do is add a criterion. I'm going to repeat the process again. So again, what I'm going to do is AO1 manage is going to go in here. This time the mark band 2 description goes in here. And again, I'm going to just slightly clean up the sentences a little bit so they flow and make sure the sentence doesn't randomly stop. And again, mirror the formatting of the text that's in the specification. So that's just going to happen really quickly. There we go. So that's all done. Now again, if I just pull you back to the mark grid, you'll see that this is also worth 3 marks in mark band 2. So I'm going to add this in now. So again, I'm going to just type this in, 3 points. Again, this is level 2, and the description is mark band 2. Finally, for those that are new to HPQ, there is an additional 1 mark for independent work. So I'm going to add this in now. So again, it's going to be an AO1 manage, which I'm going to pop in here. Here, I'm going to add in a small sentence that appears in the mark scheme, which says +1 mark for learner work that is mainly independent. This is going to be worth 1 mark. And again, same details, level 2. And again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this independent work. What you'll see at the top now is that the total mark is 7. I'm going to continue now adding in these criteria very quickly, just copy and pasting across from the spec until that reads at 40. One thing to note, of course, that if you scroll to the specification, AO2 is absolutely fine. That's just a copy and paste. But when you get to AO3, if your student is working on a written outcome, you'll need the first box. If it's mainly artifact, it'll be the second box. And if it's a performance, it'll be the third box. And again, you'll see the mark breakdown there. And then for AO4, it's very, very simple. So I'm going to do this now. The next time you hear from me is when I save this in the top right corner. Okay, that's taken me roughly 5 minutes to move that across. I've done it for the report approach to HPQ. So what you'll see is I've got the AO1 manage with 3 points there for the first band, 3 points there for the second band independent work, which you saw me set up. I now have AO2, 4 marks there, 4 marks there, and 1 mark. So that's 9 marks for that section. AO3, develop and realize, 8 marks there, 8 marks there, plus the independent mark. And last but not least, AO4, which is 3 marks for band 1, 3 marks for band 2, and the independent work. I'm going to save that now because it's a total of 40. And what you'll see is now, this is now listed as a 12 criteria 40-point rubric. I'm now going to save this. And that has now updated the assignment. So the assignment now has the assessment rubric applied. And in terms of marks, I should now have a section here that is out of 40 with an area where I can complete that mark, as you can see here. What I'm going to do is go back to my Google Drive now, and I'm going to navigate back up to the top level of my classroom, which is here, and you'll see a new folder, which is rubric exports. And as you can see, there's nothing here at the moment. What I'm going to do is return to my assignment, go to instructions, click on my rubric. I'm going to choose to export to sheets. So you can see I've got my rubric here. I'm just looking at it at the moment. I could edit it if it was wrong, but I'm going to export to sheets. This is now exporting. And if I go back to my folder and just refresh, I should now see a document in here. And when I click on this, here is my assessment rubric. And I'm just going to expand column A, which is where all of my language is. And you can see it's all formatted in here. And there's all the marks. And what I can do now with this rubric is to make a copy and actually use it as a mark book, a workbook. I could add names in columns B, C, and beyond with student candidate names for their HPQ. And I can use this to track the marks as I'm moving through the marking at the end of the program. I'm just going to close that now. So that's my mark book completed. My assignment is now ready to go with the assessment rubric. So I'm going to click on student work. I'm going to find a student on the left-hand side, click on their live document, but as you can see below there is all the rubric that we've set up with all the marks. We can also obviously expand to see the criteria we're marking against. This is where I can do my marking, which is fantastic. I'm going to click on this live document here, and this is the student view. They can go into their document here live, they can work on it, I can see them, I can work collaboratively with them. And down the right-hand side, they can see the marking grid that's going to be applied to their work, which of course won't be filled in until they submit their work for the final time. I hope that was useful. That's how to set up a rubric. What I'm now going to show you how to do is to attach some documents to your Google Classroom to support students throughout the course. Hope that was useful.